Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Learn ETRM, the show where you explore the global energy and commodity landscape. And we put together the spotlight on the people driving the innovation, transformation, and growth. I'm your host, Ranjan.
Chirag, and today we've got a very special guest with us, and we'll talk about recruitment in commodities, something which has been quite opaque to me, and I would like to learn more about it.
That's right, Chirag. So today's guest brings a truly international perspective to the conversation.
We're thrilled to welcome Mathilde, currently director, if that's correct, headhunting at Shipping and Trading Network. I hope I got that right.
Exactly.
Fantastic. Okay. Yes. So, Matilda, welcome. And before we deep dive in, would you mind just giving our listeners a quick introduction about yourself and what you do?
Yes, so my name's Mathilde, and I'm very, very pleased to be here today on this podcast. Thank you very much for having me. So I am the founder and CEO of Shipping and Trading Network, which is an advisory and headhunting company specialized in commodities and in shipping. So as you mentioned, I spent quite a lot of time abroad. I actually grew up in Singapore and Hong Kong, studied in Paris, moved to London for my first job, then moved to Singapore on a maternity cover initially, but ended up spending 7 years there. And I've been living and working in Geneva for 10 years. And I have started a headhunting company and advisory company called Shipping and Trading Network, where we help companies recruit the best talent.
Ah, okay. Interesting origination story. Uh, just curious because it's been about north of 10 years right now as well in commodities, but I never really asked from a recruiter's perspective, how does this hiring process typically work in a commodity trading firm, and what are the key steps to filter candidates, which especially like someone like me who's trying to apply for a firm should be aware of?
I think that now there's an amazing platform called LinkedIn. So this is one of the steps that you can do. But I think that on top of this, the most important thing is who you know, and having a broad network in trading companies is a must, I'd say, when you're applying, or having good relationships with people in our industry, maybe including myself as well. So there is a route to go into our industry. I'd say that one of the routes is, for example, doing a master's in commodity trading, for example. There are a few worldwide. There's a very good one in Geneva with the UNIG. And there's also other courses such as HEG. This is courses in commodities, as well as shorter courses for people wanting to go into commodities. I mean, of course, you can do other studies like economics, business, and then jump into the fascinating world of commodities. But I think that, like, for our particular industry at the moment, the best way to go into trading and to commodities is to go and have like specialized courses.
Okay, and these specialized courses which you mentioned are master programs available uh, in Europe, like those two you mentioned. But you also mentioned networking. That I've been hearing that for a while. Like networking plays a super important, crucial role in this. Is that really true, or because now you have whole recruitment teams and they hire based on skills? They look for there's ATS scores on CVs, and there's like a process, if I understand, to hiring. But i- i- what is it more? Is it more of like the process, which is kind of mechanical, or it's still a lot is network driven and through people you know?
I'd say it's both, but I do think that what puts you at the top of a pile is if you have a referral or a recommendation from someone. So, of course, you don't have to know anyone in the company and you are likely to get a position in the company. But if you do know someone who knows someone and can recommend you, I think it makes a big difference. So networking, going to events, doing internships, even if they're unpaid internships, if you're able to do that, that's a great way to get into a company and within the company, network a maximum as well. Try to meet as many people as possible during your internship. And try to network your way around in general.
Okay. And for someone fresh out of uni, what's the best way to break in? Are there like hiring programs which companies come to these universities? Are there any entry-level programs? I know of like Glencore runs some, Trafigura maybe runs some, but are there any favorite ones you would recommend?
No, I think that most of the big trading companies do have graduate programs, which are really good. They're quite difficult to get into, but because it's quite competitive. But as you say, they're really so for some of the large companies, trading companies, they do have these graduate programs. For the others, the best thing is to apply, I'd say, directly for internship programs.
Yeah, great insights, Matilda. So you might be getting a lot of pile of, like the resumes for a particular job. So what would you recommend? What are the core skills and competencies for the young professional to focus on developing if they want to get into the commodity space or build a successful career into that?
So that's a question I get a lot, I must say. It's a really good question. I think that, what we're looking for at the moment, one of the trends is obviously being IT savvy and numerical, being really good around numbers, being super curious and learning about the industry, I'd say trying to find out what's happening, how to transport one thing to the other, the operational work in the background, the finance, the whole world of commodities. So this is curiosity. I think also of course, communication skills are really important as well as languages. And then I want to specifically mention like a trading role, because I think that a lot of people actually want to go into trading, and these are more like soft skills, I'd say. I can dig into some of the soft skills that we're looking for if you'd like me to.
Yes, please.
Yes,
I'd
please.
be curious to hear more about that as well.
So I think like teamwork is one of the most important skills. Teamwork, again, communication, not being scared to lose and taking risks. So having a huge appetite for risk, but knowing the trends, the industry inside out to be able to take calculated risks, of course. You have to be hungry and have a massive like business development mindset. Again, I think that in our industry for traders, the network is super important. And the network, and I'm speaking now to interns or people who want to go into trading from the very beginning, this is when you start building your network if you want to be a trader or if you want to have other positions in trading companies and grow. So from the very beginning, you have to grow this network. So being curious again about the market and learning. For example, what I personally do is I listen to podcasts a lot, and I listen obviously to the news every day, but like learning about the business, the market trends, what's going on, and trying to spend at least 30 minutes a day learning about stuff that's happening in the world, because the economy and the trading is directly linked. So it's not like it's boring. It's what happens everywhere in our world. So and I'd say that another skill which doesn't always come up is being humble, because you're going to take big positions. You might lose, and you have to be resilient. And of course, afterwards, you have to learn from your mistakes. So these are some of the top skills, I think. So like curiosity, being hungry, business development mindset, and then the last one, and I love this word, but the network, of course.
Yeah, I would say like all the great advices here. So definitely, Matilda, I think it will help a lot of people. And the point you two raised, being humble, I think that's the key. Like no matter what you're doing today, I think being humble is the key for everything, honestly, and the network. So what I would say is like we see a noticeable trend. There is a huge rise of recruitment and the trading roles emerging in the Middle East. So what is driving that trend, and how is it impacting the traditional hubs like Switzerland or UK, for that say? Is there a global talent war which is being waged right now in this space?
Absolutely. No, totally. So a lot of people I know have moved out of the UK or of Geneva and Switzerland in general. A lot of people actually move to UAE, to a lesser extent to Saudi Arabia, although now with big trading companies settling and growing very rapidly, a lot of people are actually going to Saudi Arabia. And I mean, at the beginning, when it started to happen, because of the war, um, I just thought that this was going to be like a short time basis. I thought that people would, go to Dubai for a few months, maybe 6 months, 1 year, and then come back to wherever, like to Europe. And actually, I've noticed that a lot of people go there and stay there in UAE and are quite happy in their country. But nearly every person I speak to there eventually will come back to Europe. So this still remains like a midterm issue, I'd say, a midterm war for talent, because eventually all these people are going to return. And of course, there's going to be enrollments and people are going to still go there. People are still moving from Switzerland or the UK to Dubai as we speak. It happens. But I think that people spend a few years there, 2, 3 years, and then are actually looking forward to coming back. I think that UAE are starting to give a bit of flexibility as well, as in, for example, giving, getting the people, the employees to move abroad during the summer, because the summer in UAE is super hot. And I think this kind of flexibility is, not helping in the war of talent.
Yeah, definitely. And what would be the the time frame normally these people tend to move in that? What is the average time frame?
Yeah, I'd say like 2, 3 years minimum.
Two,
But
3 years.
so I'd say that people usually spend 2, 3 years, no tax or very low tax regime, and very good salaries as well in general. And they don't always go with their families. So their families sometimes even stay in Europe, so they go back and forth. So I think, yeah, in general, maybe 3, 4 years, and then we'll see a shift of some of the talent coming back to Europe.
Great.
Interesting. I was reading commodity trading space can be very rewarding for those opening to travel and open to move to new places. But Matilda, I was reading that you mentioned in a post that a HR head at a trading firm can earn north of $500,000 annually. I was quite bogged away by that. So, what makes the human resource function in commodities firms so unique compared to other industries?
Well, you're hiring like people who are playing and risking a lot of money. So you really do have to have the best people. Again, we're talking about a war of talent. So a talent war. You've got to get the best people. So you have to have a massive network. You have to know people. You have to have reference for those people. Make sure that the candidates are, have amazing references. And yeah, so HR are the face of a company, and they will be taking the risk by hiring the talent. And I think that this is what makes our industry a bit different compared to a conventional and different HR in other industries.
And for a young graduate interested in human resources, what's the best path into this niche within the commodities world? How does he or she try to get in?
I think you can go in fairly easily after graduating. Going into HR in a trading company is not difficult, I'd say. For a more senior position, I think that we expect people to have a network. So I don't see this very feasible, but I might be wrong. But generally, senior HRs go, from one trading company to another with their network and the people they know. But like for a young graduate, they can start in any industry and then move into the commodities industry without any issue. I think that, if they start in a high pressure environment, it's better. If they start in an environment which has like an industrial environment, because we are placing, we've got storage places, we have shipments, operations, like all this is really industry focused. So as long as they have a little bit of this, of understanding, then they're able to quite easily go into the commodity space if they're young graduates.
Great advice. So, is there any general advice for the students or early level professionals who are curious about the commodity space?
Yes, of course. So I would say learn as much as you can, spend as much time as you can speaking to people in the industry, understanding what people do in our industry. Like, what does an operator do? Okay, you're moving stuff from here to here. How does it work? Understanding the shipment, for example, understanding all the commodities, learning the trends, understanding the market trends, and yeah, be hungry, be super proactive. Try to do internships. And when you do internships, try to get yourself noticed. So not only doing photocopies, but actually taking on projects. And this will set you apart, because what we want is after internship for people to remember you. So set yourself apart. If there are 3-4 interns, try to work as much as possible. Don't do your usual 9 to 5. Just get in there, try to develop stuff, try to make yourself super useful. Of course, you'll be doing photocopies, etc. But try to do more than that. Work
Yeah.
as much as you can. This is an amazing opportunity.
Yeah. I started like that, I would say.
I think we all did.
Yeah. So within the broader industry, what are the key areas or the specialization worth exploring? Like, would it be trading, risk, operations, tech? What is your recommendation in that case?
Just elaborate a bit more on that. So sometimes participants in my program come to me and ask me where am I suited best. Is my aptitude correct for trading? Is it correct in the risk department or within ops, or should I stick to tech because I find trading too risky for me and not suited for my personality. But one has to go through, I guess, different departments to get that understanding. But any advice from you to save time for someone that, okay, I think if I'm like this, then trading is for me. If I'm like this, then risk is for me.
Absolutely. I mean, you know it with your personality. Personally, I'm quite a business development mindset person. Some people feel better behind a computer. So depending on your personality, you have to be like in HR, be a people's person, because you'll be speaking to people all day long. So I think you can know it from the early stage of your career, and even during your studies. Like, what kind of person am I? For example, if you're very organized, very practical, operations might be something that you'd be very good at. And a lot of people are super happy in operations throughout their careers because it's passionating. Although some people say it's quite boring, but it's actually a passionating and very interesting job. And of course, like IT, I suppose, would be more, behind the screens and helping like the floors with their IT issues. Although here again, you also have to have a kind of commercial mindset, because your clients are the employees of a company. So you really have to know, like, what are your top skills to know where you think you can fit. But you can also change from operations. You work really hard. You kind of understand and feel that you want to do some business development. and you can go into trading. Like if you work hard, develop that network, try to develop sales, and prove that you're someone who has the right skills to be a trader, for example.
Interesting perspective here. Like the personalities play a lot of role in choosing those what you're doing in the trading firm.
Market has been quite hot lately, Mathilde. I think you would have seen maybe in the past 1-2 years. And I always keep getting questions again as to, hey, I've been working in finance, I've been working in banking, but I want to get into commodities. Any advice on how they could get their foot in the door? They seem to be facing a wall that I've been getting feedback that, hey, it's a closed club. I feel uninvited. And I've been doing something else 10 years, but I want to get in. Any advice for them? Any thoughts?
I would go to events, for example. I would go and try and meet the people. It feels like a closed place. You're right. And I think it is somehow. Like if you don't have any acquaintance in commodities, if you don't know anyone, it's quite difficult to break through. But you can make those connections. You can even use LinkedIn to make those connections initially. Ask people for cups of coffees or for very short calls. And yeah, I think you can definitely break through and go into our industry without any issues.
So lastly, for our listeners, if somebody wants to connect with you, what is the best way to reach out to you? And typically how long they should expect to wait before they hear from you?
So this is a very good question and a bit of a touchy question because I'm not always on top of my LinkedIn, I must say. But LinkedIn is probably the best way to get in touch with me. What I'll do is if it's urgent, you should write like urgent on the message because otherwise it might take a few weeks for me to get back. But otherwise, yeah, LinkedIn as well as by email are both the best ways to get in touch with me.
Well, great. Thank you, Mathilde.
Thank you. Thank you, Mathilde. I really appreciate your time and effort to take out to do this. And thank you very much. Yeah. And
Thank you so much.
great.
It was a pleasure. Thanks.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.